Welcome back to another video feature of the Immersive Worlds Handbook here on a windy day in Las Vegas. I'm in the Fremont Street East District, and it's one of the areas of Vegas that's being revitalized, and I wanted to take you inside this interesting mall, which is the downtown container park, and I wanted to show you this in terms of some of the innovative art here and also the design. So let's go around and take a look at this interesting mall here in Las Vegas at Fremont Street. Okay, so we begin the tour, and my video I want to tell you is a little bit shaky. I was distracted by the wind. It was so windy this day. It was absolutely incredible, which you could probably tell from my two live voice recordings where you can barely hear my voice. But this is a very, very innovative mall, and I was so excited to finally visit it. I had to make the trek to the north of the Strip to Fremont. And again, this is part of a district in Las Vegas that is being revitalized, and I think they've done a brilliant job with this mall. It's truly one of the most amazing spaces I've been to in terms of malls. And I want to offer to you this notion, which may be controversial, is that malls like these that have a very heavy design aesthetic, and I would argue social aesthetic, economic aesthetic behind it, in terms of thinking about their goals, offer us incredible opportunities for inspiration in multiple senses. And just check this out. Again, my video isn't perfect and you see the haze from the wind and so forth, but they've created this giant play area in the middle of these repurposed containers. And I think what is so brilliant about this, and it's the brainchild of Tony Hsieh, you may know, the Zappos CEO. Now we're going to some of my still photos. This is right at the entrance of the downtown container park. And his notion was to create something innovative, something artistic, something aesthetic, and to offer new jobs and revitalization of this part of Las Vegas. And I think he's been very successful in this. And when you first enter the space, you see this giant mantis, which is in its own right? You could imagine this in any gallery in the world. And there are some facts about it and so forth, and I didn't get a chance to visit at night, but at night I think it says on the sign, weather permitting, flames shoot out of I think it's the antennae of the praying mantis. And I had read in an article that Tony Hsieh was actually inspired by Burning Man and got this idea from Burning Man. I think Burning Man is a perfect analogy or perfect inspiration for a space like this, because Burning Man offers so much to us in terms of creativity, in terms of thinking about space and repurposing objects, if you think about the legacy of art cars in terms of Burning Man. So this is one of the most impressive entrances I've ever seen to a shopping mall. And again, you see the container here, one of many containers, and I will get back to that at the end of the video actually, and show you how unique that space is as well. Now, I mentioned that the Business Insider did a really good story about the downtown container park, and I encourage you to read it. I was very intrigued to read this quote from their article where they talked about the notion of a Jane Jacobs style approach to development to create gathering places and so forth. And I have to say, even though it was windy and a lot of people were not at the container park on the day of my visit, all the pieces were in place. This is very clear to me in terms of the chairs, the layout. There are places where you can be secluded and away from the crowd. You can go anywhere above and have this view down on the crowd. Again, there's the play area, all sorts of places for people to sit. I read in that same Business Insider article that a concern might be that it's very hipster-esque, which I'm not personally anti-hipster, but I know that some people are. But this is part of the design aesthetic here. This is about creating something innovative and interesting, and as I read in some other sources, people often say, let's do something like this because we want to get away from the typical Vegas casino on the Strip. And you can see that sign there. They're very proud of the views on the third floor, and frankly, I don't blame them. Really amazing panoramic views of both the interior of the downtown container park and also the exterior, as you're able to look out on the street and see really good panoramic views of Fremont East District. Now, I wanted to offer this to you again on the third floor here in one of the containers, and it's also the container then that has the cutout letters for the words container park. And I spent a lot of time here, even though it was windy, and as you'll hear at the end of my video, it was hard to concentrate and to talk in the camera. But again, the views were absolutely amazing, and I was intrigued by the aesthetics. For me, this particular mall has a very heavy focus on an aesthetics of remaking and reuse, and it's kind of obvious, right, with the containers. But I think for me, this is something that we need to see more of in the world of design, whether it's shopping malls or casinos or any of the spaces that we might see along the Las Vegas Strip and along Fremont. Again, this I think is absolutely amazing and innovative, and someone might pass this by and not even notice it, but I lingered and lingered here. There are steps, as you can see. You can look out of the letters, and to me there's some interesting conceptual things going on here, right? You're looking out of the letters, and there's something then about the naming. We could get philosophical here, and there's nothing wrong with that, certainly, but I was absolutely amazed with the space. I was amazed with the mall. I absolutely think it's a place that if you're in Las Vegas, you have to visit. It is innovative, it's new, it's unique, it's an example of reuse and remaking, and most importantly, it exemplifies that notion of Jane Jacobs, which is suggesting to us that we can create a space that is our own, we can populate it, we can make it meaningful. The space is created for us, as opposed to what's typically the case above us or about us. So I hope you enjoyed this video feature today here at the Container Park, very innovative mall in windy Las Vegas, and please come back for additional video features.